Alright, so a good number of people in our office tried to get into Metal Gear Survive and play their salvage missions and found it pretty confusing. The game has a pretty complicated crafting system up front, and the staging area can be a bit convoluted, so we're going to take you through some tips to get you through your first couple of rounds, and some pretty cool ways to set up traps and defend your base. So before you start, the first thing you should know is that you can't invert your controls from the staging area, only the main menu. That one took me way too long to figure out. So, if you play inverted, do it after the customization section, but before you start the game. Once you get to the starting area, you'll find yourself in a sterile environment. It's really not too bad. There's 2 main stations you need to go to. First, head over to the supply box, where the game will give you rewards, blueprints, and materials. Pretty much go to the supply box after every round or when you log in and check it for material. You can then take that over to the customization area, where you pretty much craft everything. There's a menu where you can actually go and give yourself a couple more item slots, and I recommend doing it. In general, having a mixed loadout is pretty important. You want good crowd control, such as shotguns, ranged weapons, such as assault rifles to hit the legs of exploding enemies, and a trusted melee weapon. Now, the game doesn't actually start you off with a lot of material, so what I recommend is actually going into a couple of solo salvage missions and completely ignoring the wormhole generator. What I found is if you walk around and just collect material, even if you fail, you get to take it with you back to your starting area. So consider failing a couple times, building up your resources, and using that to go to the crafting stations and crafting your first set of good gear, fences, and traps. Alright, so you're ready to do your first salvage mission. You have to go to the accept mission area and either accept quick match, which will start a matchmaking lobby, or pull your friends in. But either way, you have to both select the mission and then walk over to another deployment circle to start the mission. Craft as much ammo and as many barricades as you can before matchmaking, because you only have about 5 minutes once you get into the round to get to the area that you have to defend, and honestly you won't pick up much on the way there that's going to help you build anything. You may find yourself getting wounded by the first set of zombies on your way there. There's a couple different types of damage. There's general damage, which you can use a spray to get rid of, and there's specific damage, which you need to go into the menu to heal. You'll know if you have specific damage on your body because you'll see continuous bleeding on screen. On the easier salvage missions, you can probably ignore specific damage because the round will be over before it really becomes a problem. The other thing you're on the lookout for are Kuban crystals. They look like little plants, and you can use those points to level up characters or throw them to attract zombies. Now, once you get to the defense area, the biggest noob mistake we're seeing right now is people placing their traps and barricades inside of the red circle. But what you have to do is build outside of that red circle because the warp gate will actually destroy your gear or barricades between waves. In your inventory, you'll also find a warp point. This is not for kidnapping creatures, it's actually something you can put anywhere on the map and teleport to. So put it somewhere safe, like up high, and then if you get in trouble, you can warp yourself to safety. Now, you'll see the zombie paths right away. It varies depending on the map, but the zombies really do stick to these arrows. You can go ahead and start deploying fences along those lines. And as long as you stay behind the fences, the zombies will pile up on them. The zombies won't actually go around the fences unless there's a player standing right next to one and a zombie lunges sideways. High barricades or low barricades are both equally as good. They slow down zombies and let you attack through them. If you look through the menu, each one will say what kind of melee attacks are compatible. At this point, you can start experimenting with fun trap combos. We like putting a propeller in front or behind a fence. If it's in front of the fence, then the zombies will get ground up as they go into the fence. And if it's behind the fence, the zombies all topple over at the same time and get ground up after they fall. Another neat combo is to toss crystals at a horde of zombies, which they'll all bunch up around, and then follow up with a grenade. Now, after a couple of rounds, you can actually go find a walker. So if you see people running around with those, they found them on the map, and they're pretty much a guaranteed win at the easier levels. Alright, so let's say you made it to the end of the round. There's some things you should do to conserve your resources, such as if the countdown timer says 10 seconds left and the zombies aren't anywhere close to the warp gate, conserve your ammo because you have to craft everything in this game. You can also trash and disassemble barricades up until the point where the round ends. We're not quite sure if that returns the material to you or not, but you have a limited amount of time to do it. Alright, so you made it through the match. What should you be doing back at your staging area? Well, depending on how well you did, you can use points to toughen up and maintain your gear. You can put points into toughening your character and individual skills like heavy attacks or punching, kicking, and tripping enemies. And you can craft extra material and send that to your repository, which is a storage box that you can get to in the next round. Alright, that should get you guys started on Metal Gear Survive Salvage Mission. We'd love to hear about your creative traps and tactics, so let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to keep an eye on GameSpot.com as we cover more Metal Gear Survive up until launch.